Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for signing in on the call sheet for this special episode of Call Time a Theater Pod, where every role in theater matters. It is now time for Marquee Moment, where we turn our spotlight on a show, project, or artist that deserves to be on your radar. So, take your seats. Sip your very overpriced intermission cup in that adorable little sippy cup. You know what I'm talking about. I have a few of them myself. And it is my pleasure to introduce the team behind the brand new musical Star Machine, headed your way. I'm going to give them their marquee moment right now. Hank, Gideon, how are you? Hello.
Hello. It's so nice to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, we're thrilled.
Star Machine. I need to know everything. The first thing I would love to know is just, where did it spark from? How did it manifest itself? And how did you get to this point?
Gideon and I started writing songs together when I think I was about 11, he was 13. We had a very influential first songwriting teacher named Scott Simons, who is a musician in LA and an incredible songwriter. And he happens to also be a pianist and music director on America's Got Talent. And he kind of filled us in on a couple behind-the-scenes hijinks. Sorry, Scott, for revealing. But
the magic, no!
But that kind of sparked this idea for, what if we set a musical in this TV talent show space? And kind of throughout the years, the show has become more and more about us, our artistic journey, and our family, who our parents co-wrote. They wrote the book, and we wrote the songs for the show. So yeah, that's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I had no idea it was like a complete family affair, because I knew it was both of you, but that's so cool. I have to know, like, family dynamics aside, I'm sure there are times when you're like, all right, I gotta separate this or else we're not gonna get anything done. But what has that experience been like, working with your whole family on this?
Yeah, I mean, so our parents, they've been working together for a long time, and they've written different books together and done screenplays, but they'd never written a musical together. And Hank and I had been writing songs for a bit at this point by the time that we started Star Machine, but we'd never written a full-length musical, and our family had never written together. So I don't know exactly where we got the great idea that all four of us should do this together, but...
I mean, we've been working on the show for about 6 years. The first ideas were even a couple years before that. But it's kind of been this amazing thing because it's really tied us and connected us all as we've gone off to college. We've gotten to continually work on this show together, and our parents raised us to love music and love literature and love art and love movies and TV shows, and our mom specifically was the musical theater lover in our family.
We've grown so much as a family, and it's funny because sometimes now it's like, what is the family and what is Star Machine? The two things are the same thing at this point,
right?
But it's just been an amazing journey for us, and what's so fun is now that the show is at the stage that it's at, we've put some of those things about the creation into the show, because the show is about two sisters who are artists trying to make it in LA
and collaborate with each other.
So
we've really gotten to directly pull from this moment into the plot.
Yeah, there's lots of bits and things from our collaboration as a family that have now made it into the show.
Yeah.
I love that. Life is art, art is life. Absolutely. So you said you've been working on this for about 6 or so years. How many iterations of the show have there been?
Yeah, we've had many iterations. That first concept was 6 years ago, but the first time we workshopped the show was in 2022. Hank was a freshman at Baldwin Wallace University, and I was a sophomore, and we went to school together, and we were like, let's get some of our friends together and try out some of this material that we've been working on. And since then, it's just become this beautiful workshopping process for us at Baldwin Wallace. We've done it every year since, and really gotten to grow the show here, and the school has just totally embraced the project, and some of the actors that were in that first iteration when they were freshmen are now seniors, and they're still in the show, and they're bringing just as much energy as they did back then. And we've really built a lot of the roles on some of these actors. So it's
really been
such a
beautiful
collaboration, with them. And now we're finally getting it kind of to this higher level stage where we get to present it to the world. So we're so thrilled about that.
So exciting.
Oh, that is absolutely wonderful, and I'm like emotional just even thinking about that. Oh my gosh, I don't want to cry on camera just yet. So before I start crying, tell me, what is Star Machine?
Star Machine is a comedy set in the early 2000s that follows two sisters who are both kind of seeking external validation in their musical careers. One sister, Jazz, is more along the lines of wanting general acclaim and fans and fame. Nikki, her older sister, kind of wants more critical appeal and, kind of that higher brow type of success. Through kind of a series of misadventures, they end up on this wacky TV talent show called Star Machine. It basically takes them on a whole trajectory that they never could have imagined. Ultimately, where we kind of leave the show is that they both realize that they need to look internally and kind of to each other to really, kind of excel and do all that they really want to in their creative career. It's not as much of an external view, but more looking internally, and it's more about the process and working and collaborating together.
Fantastic. I'm already intrigued. I'm like, ooh, okay, I want.
Lots of jokes. There's lots of jokes.
Yes. We love a comedy. So you said the show is set in the early thousands, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, early on.
Why then and not the 2020s, where reality competition shows such as that are like, I don't want to say oversaturated, that's my own personal opinion, but the early aughts are definitely a time when it comes to what you're talking about, so I'm curious about that.
Definitely. I think in large part, at first it was just kind of a reflection of, this is when the first season of American Idol, which was one of the first really, really major TV talent shows took place.
Mm-hmm. I watched it.
I
was there.
2002 was the year that American Idol came out. But as we've kind of gone along, it's just felt more and more like the right time to set this musical, because there were so many things that were about to be revealed about the United States, about America, about the entertainment industry. And I think it's kind of funny because in our show, with, like the oversaturation of TV talent shows nowadays, they've blown up and expanded into these unbelievable Frankenstein's monsters of television.
Good way of putting it, yeah.
We kind of get to track that through our one season of Star Machine. It starts off as, just some kind of summer programming that, barely got greenlit. And then we basically are taking it, instead of like kind of the 25-year journey that these TV talent shows have been on, we get to see through the course of 2 hours this show kind of blow up and become this monster.
Yeah, and I think, musically as well, it's been a huge inspiration for us to look back at some of, our favorite artists from that period, and take some inspiration from that. There's definitely some Britney Spears moments, some Maroon 5 moments in there. So that's been a really fun part of the music for us.
Oh, solid. I love a nostalgia ride for that very reason. You had mentioned that a lot of the people in this cast, they started in the show when they were freshmen and now they're seniors and they're still a part of it. Tell me about your current cast overall, like how they became a part of the process.
When we first workshopped the show, it was really just calling up some of our friends and saying, hey, do y'all want to, try some of this out? And, as we progressed with workshops, it became a little more formalized each step of the way. And now it's, a main stage production for Baldwin Wallace in collaboration with Playhouse Square. And, so we had, a whole audition process for this version of the show. It's just been amazing to see some of those actors, their growth throughout these last 4 years too. And, we were just working with, Avery Fahey, one of our leads who's been with it since the beginning, and just seeing how quickly she picks up material now, and she just totally understands our style and sensibility musically. And so it's truly like we just get in the room and we're playing, when she's there.
And I'm calling it, these people are gonna be stars too. Yeah. Avery Fahey, Dakota Renteria. Gabriel Hill, all of these. This is an incredible cast. But
it's been fun as well because we've had students who have been a part of it from the beginning, and now some of those students are off doing national tours and doing really high level theater in New York, and so we're constantly cheering them on and saying, please promote the show for us. You're big and famous. But yeah, it's just been an incredible journey for us to get to work with them, and in terms of a dream cast, I can't think of a better group and a more we've this week we've had a workshop to prepare us for the production in April, and just the energy and exuberance of the collegiate environment has just been tremendous. So we're just so grateful to all of them.
That is amazing. And y'all heard it here, folks. Stars in the making. They are not even just in the making. They are stars. They are here. And I love this so freaking much. So obviously your audiences, I already can feel like they're going to be bopping along. They're going to be engaged. They're going to really be into this. But what do you hope that they feel once they leave?
I'm thinking when I was younger and now too, the feeling that I always left the shows that like really struck me with was a feeling of like inspiration and how I want to go off and write something as good as that someday. And also a little bit of frustration and annoyance that they're so good and I'm not yet. So I kind of am hoping that more on the inspiration side, but I want people to be leaving and to have a couple tunes stuck in their head, and also just like be inspired to keep pursuing whatever they're pursuing, because the show it's by artists and for artists, but I also think that anybody who cares about what they do and their work and what they do can really relate to it. And so I just feel that I hope that people feel inspired to go off and to keep pursuing their journey and keep doing whatever it is that creates that spark in the way that music does for us.
I mean, I'd say too, the show has grown so much. At first it was more farcical and more of a satire on TV talent shows, and just throughout this process of workshopping, it's become it has so much more heart now, and it's so much more about artistry and what success looks like to artists and what success means to artists. And I hope that now it's one of those shows. My favorite shows are ones where you're having a good time, you're laughing, and you're swept up in the story, and by the end you're like, oh, I didn't think I was going to be crying at this point of watching the show. And so I hope that people have that experience when seeing ours.
So one of the things I would like you to do now is I want you to look right into our camera here out at our lovely audience, and I want you to manifest the future of Star Machine. Take it away.
I've got something. Okay. So, I think the message at the end of the show is that we need to look internally and towards ourselves, and whenever we're trying to make things and to be artists, and to continue to work along the process. And so I think deeply we're trying to live in and by that goal of looking into ourselves. However, as the show also acknowledges, we want everything to happen. We want an amazing New York run of the show. We want all of those things, but I think what we can control is that we just want to keep making the show happen. Specifically, we're looking to partner with other universities and some regional theaters to continue having productions and continue workshopping the show. Show works really great in a college setting because there are so many young characters and roles that are meant to be played by 20-year-olds. And so I really think that, I want to take whatever the universe gives me, but I also want to live by the motto of our show, which is like the journey is the destination, and see all the different places that the journey can take us.
Yeah, and I think, just adding on to that, we're super, interested in obviously a high level run in New York, and I think we have TV and film aspirations for the show too. The show's very cinematic, being set in this TV talent show world. But like Hank said, this whole process for us has been about us doing it ourselves and figuring it out and creating the team around us that's just as passionate about the project as we are. And so, I think no matter what happens, as long as we keep doing that, we keep living by the motto of our show and greenlight ourselves. So I think that's our plan moving forward. We'll just keep writing new shows and keep trying to make this show the best it can be.
Keep working it out.
It is written. It is absolutely written. The manifest. It is written. I truly believe this for y'all, and I'm very, very excited. What's going on with the show? Where can we find all this information? When is the run? Tell us everything we need to know about Star Machine and its run.
Absolutely. So Star Machine premieres at Playhouse Square's HELENE Theater on April 24th through 26th in collaboration with Baldwin Wallace Musical Theater. So you can come see our production there. That's our first full production.
In Cleveland, Ohio.
In Cleveland, Ohio. And we're also doing a industry presentation at New World Stages on April 14th at 1 p.m. So you can come check out the show. But until then, if you want to check out, we're posting all the time on all our socials, Instagram, Facebook, on TikTok, and you can find us there at Star Machine the Musical.
I would love to thank both of you so much for being here. Hank, Gideon, I'm so excited to be collaborating with you on today's episode, and really just, you guys have earned your marquee moment, and I can't wait to see where the show is going. You know, I could go on and ask you a million more questions, but I'm going to let the show speak for itself. I want to thank all of you so much for tuning into this episode of Call Time, a Theater Pod, Marquee Moment. My name is Marisa HELENE MAST. You are the audience. See you around. Bye-bye.
The truth, and you'll be born again.
Bless your heart.
That's it.
Amen.
We love drama. We love drama.
Sex or crime
or a dead mama.
She's cute about, she'll resonate.
Such perfect skin, she'll probably win.
She's great.
Top 4. She's more than gonna clear this whole town. Deep down, I wanna hear this crowd cheer. No fear, just open
mic it.
Hope they like it. They'll call it sensational.
What's not to like?
What's not to like?
Harmony, keys and drums, selling out stadiums, playing in my backing band.
I hope you chart top 10 long as I'm #1.
I hope you go platinum once I've already done it.
You'll get that Grammy win, but I'll fight.
And a VMA.
And a People's Choice.
And a CMA. I'll switch genres, get Kennedy honors. I promise we're show friends, the show tends to unify.
That green